horse with firmness and appeared to anticipate his speed. He seemed dejected and looked anxiously at the passengers, particularly at the stage driver and myself. In a moment after he passed us, the horse's ears were up and bent themselves forward so they nearly met. "Who is that man?" said I. "He seems in great trouble."
"Nobody knows who he is, but his person and the child are familiar to me. I have met him more than 100 times, and have been so often asked the way to Boston by that man, even when he was traveling directly from that town, that of late I have refused any communication with him. And that is the reason he gave me such a fixed look."
"But does he never stop anywhere?"
"I have never known him to stop anywhere longer than to inquire the way to Boston. And let him be where he may, he will tell you he cannot stay a moment, for he must reach Boston that night."
We were now ascending a high hill in Walpole, and as we had a fair view of the heavens, I was rather disposed to jeer the driver for thinking of his surtout, as not a cloud as big as a marble could be discerned.
"Do you look," said he, "in the direction whence the man came? That is the place to look. The storm never meets him. It follows him."
We presently approached another hill, and when at the height, the driver pointed out in an eastern direction a little black speck about as big as a hat.
"There," said he, "is the seed storm. We may possibly reach Polly's before it reaches us, but the wanderer and his child will go to Providence through rain, thunder, and lightning."
And now the horses, as though taught by instinct, hastened with increased speed. The little black cloud came on rolling over the turnpike and doubled and trebled itself in all directions. The appearance of this cloud attracted the notice of all the passengers, for after it had spread itself to a great bulk, it suddenly became more limited in circumference, grew more compact, dark and consolidated. And now the successive flashes of chained lightning caused the whole cloud to appear like a sort of irregular network, and displayed 1,000 fantastic images. The driver bespoke my attention to a remarkable configuration in the cloud. He said every flash of lightning near its center discovered to him distinctly the form of a man sitting in an open carriage drawn by a black horse. But in truth, I saw no such thing. The man's fancy was doubtless at fault. It is a very common thing for the imagination to paint for the senses, both in the visible and invisible world. In the meantime, the distant thunder gave notice of a shower at hand, and just as we reached Policy's tavern, the rain poured down in torrents. It was soon over, the cloud passing in the direction of the turnpike toward Providence. In a few moments after, a respectable-looking man in a chaise stopped at the door. The man and child in the chair having excited some little sympathy among the passengers, the gentleman was asked if he had observed them. He said he had met them, that the man seemed bewildered and inquired the way to Boston, that he was driving at great speed as though he expected to outstrip the tempest, that the moment he had passed him, a thunderclap broke directly over the man's head and seemed to envelop both man and child, horse and carriage.
"I stopped," said the gentleman, "supposing the lightning had struck him, but the horse only seemed to loom up and increase his speed, and, as well as I could judge, he traveled just as fast as the thundercloud."
While this man was speaking, a peddler with a cart of tin merchandise came up, all dripping, and on being questioned, he said he had met that man and carriage within a fortnight in 4 different states. That at each time he had inquired the way to Boston, and that a thunder shower like the present had each time deluged his wagon and his wares, setting his tin pots, etc., afloat, so that he had determined to get a marine insurance for the future. But that which excited his surprise most was the strange conduct of his horse. For long before he could distinguish the man in the chair, his own horse stood still in the road and flung back his ears.